Hey guys, this is Nick and welcome to my Linux experiment. Technology is everywhere around us in our lives. We have our smartphones, our smartwatches, our smart home tech, our cars, our appliances. There's technology everywhere. And we tend to let ourselves slip into comparing every little detail, every spec sheet, every feature, and this leads to something called tribalism. So here is why I think that the technology in itself doesn't matter at all, but what matters is what we create or what we do with it. Let's take a look right after this. Skillshare is an online learning community that gets you access to thousands of classes to learn a new skill, master a new hobby, or just improve on something that you already know, real-world skills or otherwise. Learning about Linux, for example, is easy thanks to a bunch of courses on improving your skills on the command line, becoming a sysadmin, or just generally learning more about Linux's internals. Personally, I'm taking these classes on color correction in DaVinci Resolve. Skillshare is affordable with free account creation and your access to Skillshare Premium being only $8 a month. This gives you access to all the chapters in all the classes and offline viewing. Now, the first 1,000 subscribers that click the link in the description below will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, so head over there and start learning. So technology is just as tribal as politics, and what I mean by that is that people tend to pick a side, whether it's the side they grew up with or the side they decided to adopt later on, and they defend it tooth and nail to the point that they're completely close to everything that is logical, that is a good argument, or even to the merits of the other sides. People tend to be tribal about technology. They tend to like what they grew up with, they tend to like what they discovered, what they bought, what they spend their hard-earned cash on, and they tend to be overly aggressive towards anything that they didn't choose. Now, there are plenty of examples of this all around us. Tesla owners berating everybody that's not driving a Tesla. iPhone versus Android, Mac versus Windows, Windows versus Linux, Linux versus Linux. Yeah, that's right. Us, as the Linux community, we are not adverse to that at all. We are definitely one of the worst examples of tribalism in terms of community, in terms of debate, in terms of being close-minded to others' opinions. As Linux users, we always tend to try and convert people to our distro of choice, to our software of choice, because we're passionate about software. We're passionate about our distro, about its features, about its spec sheet. We want people to use what we use. We want them to convert to our way of thinking. And that's only natural. I also think that this is something that has been increasing lately, and probably because money and time are becoming more and more scarce these days. We have less money and less time, which we invest in the things that we really like and that we really love. And the problem is, if you've invested all this time and all this money out of the little that we have these days into a product, into something that we like and that we want to use, then we cannot accept that people use something else, because it would mean that our choice has flaws and that we bought something that is imperfect, that we might have been wrong, we might have made a bad choice. And this is unacceptable, because this would mean we completely ruined ourselves in terms of time or in terms of money just to get something that isn't great. So the natural reaction of the human being is to defend the choice they made and to attack the choices that other people make. Now, don't get me wrong, creating a community around something that we like isn't harmful in and of itself. It's actually pretty great. You get to talk with people that are like-minded. You get to talk about the latest features, share your enthusiasm, gush over the new stuff, the new things, the fact that you really like this specific point and this guy likes this specific point. It's great to have talks about these things, and it's true of distributions, of software, of tech, of phones. Speaking with people that have the same centers of interest as you have is pretty cool. Now, the problem in these communities is when you start mocking people for choosing something other than the thing that you like. This is where everything goes wrong, and this is what always happens in certain communities or in certain circles. When you start harassing other people, or even just discussing between fans of the same stuff, what idiots the fans of the other things are, because they didn't pick the same thing as you. What a bunch of absolute dumbasses. Well, this is where it starts getting dumb and where it starts being toxic. And when that toxicity starts spreading outside of your community to start harassing or attacking other people when they just talk about stuff that they like, then it really becomes stupid and dumb. If I go to the Arch forums and write a post about how I think Arch is terrible, that everyone using Arch is a moron, and that everybody should use Elementary OS because it's so much better, what is the reaction you think people are going to have? Are they going to be like, hey, this guy's right, Arch is crap, we should use Elementary OS? Absolutely not. They're all going to eject me out of the forums, and they're going to go troll the Elementary OS forums, and they're going to have a terrible image of Elementary OS, even though I am not even affiliated with the project. This is just going to create a chain reaction from fanboy to fanboy, which are going to clash and create some stupid, dumb moves and some stupid, dumb comments. This is what's happening, for example, in the console wars these days, between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. People are just throwing stuff at each other, saying that the PS5 is crap, the Xbox One is underpowered, and whatever. It's stupid. You can like something and not hate the opposite. You can like PS5 and like the Xbox, or at least tolerate it without attacking it. You can like Arch and not hate Elementary OS or Ubuntu. It is possible to combine both. There is no issue with that. So basically, me coming to a forum and attacking people for their choice is the exact equivalent of me knocking on your door, telling you that your car is shit and you should buy another one, and just leaving after that. It's super rude. You wouldn't do that in real life. Why would you do that on forums or in the internet life? It's not what you should do. And this brings me to my main point, which is technology in itself is cool, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what you make out of this technology. I've seen a lot of people recently saying that they would never buy anything made by Intel anymore. They just want all AMD. Intel is just in the garbage. And I mean, it's okay. AMD has made some great strides. They're a good challenger. They're making great processors these days that are outperforming and under-consuming compared to the Intel processors. Does that mean that anybody that buys an Intel processor is an imbecile? Or that any machine shipping with Intel is worthless? Absolutely not. We're talking about single-digit percentage margins here. We're talking about minutes of battery life, not hours. This is not important. Someone that wants to create a video, a text document, anything that they want to create on their computer, they can create just the same using the Intel device or the AMD device. They're going to be able to play the same games, they're going to be able to create the same things. It doesn't matter in the slightest. And it's cool to get enthusiastic about something. But it becomes really dumb when you start spitting on everything else, which I've been doing in this video a lot. It's really uncool when you start spitting on something else just because you decide that it's dumb to buy it. It's not. People are going to create the same things, even with the thing that you don't like. You can do the exact same tasks on an iPhone or on an Android device. You can play the exact same games on Arch or Ubuntu. You can write the exact same documents or edit the exact same videos using Elementary OS or Manjaro. It doesn't matter. The technology is just a tool. You can drive to your workplace and back using a Honda Civic or a Tesla. You're gonna get there in the same time. It's not gonna make a single difference. Well, it would if we could actually go out and drive, but you get my point. Technology is a tool. Your smartphone, your smartwatch, your appliances, your smart lock, your car, they're all tools. Tools that want to serve a purpose. They're here to accomplish a task. And it's the end result that matters, not the tool that you used to reach that end result. So sure, some tools are way nicer than others. Some tools have more features. Some tools look better. But in the end, it doesn't mean that because your tool is nicer, then other people's tools are crap and useless. It doesn't work like that. On my channel, I've used 3 different video editors. I've used 3 different monitors. I've used 4 different devices. I've switched desks 3 times. I've switched keyboards 3 times. I've switched mouse 3 times. And the end result is exactly the same. In the end, you get to watch a video that still makes around 15,000 views after about a week. And that's all. It's the end result. Whether I use PTV, Kdenlive, or DaVinci Resolve, whether I use my Logitech mouse or the crappy Chinese one I used before, whether I use my keyboard from Apple or the Microsoft keyboard or the keyboard on my laptop, whether I use my ultra-wide or my dual screen setup that I used before, it doesn't matter. The end result is still a video that performs exactly the same. Those tools are nice. Sure, I prefer using the ultra-wide to my laptop screen, and I prefer using my Logitech mouse to the crappy Chinese one I was using before, and the Apple keyboard feels good to me, better than the Microsoft one did. But in the end result is exactly the same. The technology didn't matter in the slightest. What mattered was what I did with it. And so it's no use getting carried with the technological advantages of some stuff, or the fact that this thing looks better or does a little bit more, has 2 more FPS. It's useless in the end. It is useless because you're gonna be able to reach the exact same goal with it. Now there is a fine line between personal preference and fanboyism. And it's easy to get carried away to think that our choice is so good that we just can't avoid letting others know that it is so good. We want them to know, we want them to use it, and it's a natural reaction. But when it becomes harassment, when it becomes undue criticism, when it becomes just trashing everything else that we don't use, then it's a problem, and it's actually counterproductive. What we need to remember is that the technology in itself is just the tool to get the job done. What matters is the job you do with that tool. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't hesitate to like or dislike if you didn't. You can also subscribe and turn on notifications to get more videos like this one. If you really enjoyed the video and you want to help grow the channel, you can also join my amazing Patreon subscribers and YouTube members and get access to a weekly Patreon cast and the right to vote on the next topics I'll cover. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!